There's been many a time in my career I've wanted to raise concerns and I've been too afraid to. I owe a duty of care to this organisation and I feel I really did do the right thing.
This short video that you're about to see is about our organisation's commitment to supporting and listening to staff. We think it's really important for staff to feel comfortable about raising concerns, and our Trust Board see this as a major priority. We want to create an open organisation where staff feel valued and empowered. In order to do that, we've got a range of mechanisms in place. One of those is the recent appointment of Helene Donnelly into our role of Ambassador for Cultural Change.
I am passionate about raising concerns about patient safety, quality and standards. This is in the main partly due to my experience at Staffordshire Foundation Trust when I tried to raise concerns about poor patient care standards and staff behaviour. Unfortunately, I and others who did try to speak out were not listened to, and we sadly now all know exactly what happened as a result of that. We need to strive for quality. We need to make sure that the patient experience is always a good one. Because of this, I want to make sure that all staff are aware of their duty in terms of speaking out when they see things that are not right. It is vital then that staff know how to raise concerns and understand their duty in doing so. And crucially, if they feel that what they have raised is not being listened to and not acted upon, where do they go to next? As part of my role, it is important that staff understand what it entails and how they can contact me. And it's also important that staff know that it's part of a wider initiative throughout the whole of the Trust. With that in mind, I'm going to now speak to Stuart Poyner to learn a little bit more about what he wants to achieve through my role and other methods to make sure that staff do know how to raise concerns and crucially they are supported when they do so. We both know how important raising concerns is and how important it is that staff know about that. So can you tell me a little bit about, from your perspective, what the Trust is doing to try and achieve that?
When we set the Trust up 2 years ago, we made a number of statements really about wanting to be very visible as leaders, wanting to be out and about, supporting and listening to staff. We set mechanisms up such as an independent helpline where people could raise concerns. But one of the issues really when we actually sat back and reflected on the success of that, having seen your case and other cases nationally where people had raised concerns and maybe hadn't been supported as a result of raising those concerns, we wanted to create something new and very different in our organisation.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about how my role is actually working and how staff can have confidence in it and raising concerns?
I think one of the key elements is that your role should be reporting directly to the Chief Executive and have a voice around the board table. And I think that's a really important statement for staff to see that the organisation takes it seriously at a senior level. In terms of following up the actions, I think it's also important that we can see that staff raise issues and staff start to see resolution of issues so that they can actually gain confidence that not only are they not suffering by raising concerns, but they're actually making a difference and seeing improvements in the culture.
Thank you for that, Stuart. That's really helpful. Now I'm going to have to see Julie Tanner, who is our Director of Workforce and Development, to learn a little bit more about what she's doing to ensure that staff feel supported in raising concerns and looking crucially at our behaviours, not just with our patients and our service users, but with each other. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're hearing about staff experience in terms of working for the Trust and some of the issues that may be coming up in terms of how staff are actually treating each other?
Sorts of things that are coming across my desk are interpersonal behaviours between team members or team members and managers, and it can be the simple little things as people not acknowledging each other first thing in the morning, which sets the day off wrong. What we need to be doing is actually encouraging the staff to be able to have a culture which is a learning environment, so that when people do actually make mistakes, that they can actually learn from it and they actually can put forward the solutions to make sure it doesn't happen again. And what we need to see is that they're living the values with each other as well as with our patients.
So Julie, if a member of staff does have concerns which they want to raise, can you tell us a little bit more about the methods that are available to them and the processes involved in that?
Well, we would hope first that they would have the confidence to go to their line manager, and what managers need to do is to be very, very visible in the workplace, so they're actually picking up on the issues before they need to be brought to them. But if staff don't feel able to go to their line manager, there are several other routes. There are their professional leads for each of their professions out there. Our trade union colleagues are extremely positive about wanting to support us on this campaign, and of course there's your role that you're now getting heavily involved in.
Okay, that is great, but some of the issues I've been picking up so far are that where somebody has raised a concern, they're not necessarily engaged in the process, and they're certainly concerned that they're not feeling communicated with and informed as things progress. So how are we tackling that?
Yeah, I mean, if people have had the confidence to come forward and to raise concern, then we have got to keep them very engaged and informed. What we've actually put in place now is that the HR team will actually contact individuals that are in any part of the process to keep them informed about what's happening, and that will be a weekly phone call to say this is the next stage, or actually something isn't going to happen for the next couple of weeks because of X. The other feedback that we've had is that the policies are quite unwieldy, they're quite legalistic, so what we're going to do is do briefing sheets for staff that explain exactly what is the process and what they can expect and what the likely timescales are going to be.
Thank you, Julie, that was really helpful. I'm now going off to meet with Lizzie Burgess-Harvard, who is one of our community district nurses, to discuss with her her experience of raising concerns. She came to me with some concerns that she was unable to take forward, and we want to hear now about her experience through that process. When you had a problem, how did you know about the processes available to you to raise concerns, and how did you find out about my role as Ambassador for Cultural Change?
Well, I went to see Human Resources. I didn't know where to begin, so I started there. I wanted to do my homework, sound them out a bit, see what options there were, what the channels, what the processes were, and they told me about the ambassador role, and that's how I got to know you.
Can you explain how you found the process helpful, and was it supportive?
Without meeting you, Helene, I'd never have done it. I wouldn't. Okay, there's been many a time in my career I've wanted to raise concerns and I've been too afraid to, for various reasons. To me, in my eyes, you were credible. Okay, you're one of us, you're frontline staff. You don't have any hidden agenda, no vested interest. That was good enough for me. That's what gave me the interest. And above all, you have the ear of the Chief Exec.
Through your personal experience and your professional concerns that you had, and then coming to me about those, how do you feel that helped, and the process was helpful in making changes?
The process through you was extremely supportive. I felt safe. I did feel safe, I'll be honest. As before, I never would have done. I have urged other staff to contact you to raise their concerns, and I think they have, some of them, and they will, and I'll continue to do that. I think without meeting you within your role, I know I'd have never raised those concerns, and I do know for a fact that after I raised my concerns to the Chief Exec, things happened for the better, for the staff and for the patients. Things happened. I feel good. I owe a duty of care to this organisation and to the patients to do the right thing, and I feel finally, after 26 years, I really did do the right thing. Yeah, it feels good.
We all know how important it is to raise concerns, but equally how difficult that can be. So I hope, having watched this film, that you now feel more encouraged, supported, empowered and informed about how to go about raising those concerns. I'm hopeful that if you have concerns, you can go to your direct line managers and raise them, and they can be resolved at a local level. But if that's not happening for whatever reason, I hope that now you're more familiar with other routes and methods that are available to you, and I'm just one of those. It's crucial that we raise concerns where we have them, so that improvements can be made and ultimately patient care and service delivery can be the best it can be.